That's the calling. That's a Pied Piper.
Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome to Unity of Music City. Welcome to the sanctuary. On behalf of Reverend Deb Moore, I'm Ryan Gill. That's Jackson. That's Candy. That's Mary Grace. We are the Sanctuary Band. We're going to start off today by doing 2 songs back to back. We're going to say thank you for this day, Spirit. And then we're going to say, my God is so good to me. So let's all stand up and give a blessing to this beautiful day. Want to say thank you. Oh, thank you. I'm so grateful. So grateful. Sing it with me. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day.
Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day.
This beautiful day.
This beautiful day.
Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day.
Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day.
This healing day.
This healing day.
Thank you for my friends, Spirit. Thank you for my friends.
Thank you for my friends, Spirit. Thank you for my friends.
My wonderful friends.
My wonderful friends.
Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day.
Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day.
This beautiful day.
This beautiful day.
I want to say thank you. I'm so grateful. Let's do God is my source. God is my source.
God is my source.
God is my power.
God is my power.
God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything I need. Love is my source. Love is my source.
Love is my source.
Love is my power.
Love is my power.
Love gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. Love gives me everything I need. Peace is my source. Peace is my source.
Peace is my source.
Peace is my power.
Peace is my power.
Gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. Peace gives me everything. Joy is my source. Joy is my source.
Joy is my source.
Joy is my power.
Joy is my power.
Joy gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. Joy gives me everything I need. God is my source. God gives me everything I need. God gives me everything I need. God gives me everything I need. All right, my God is so good to me.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Well, I got up this morning singing, God is so good. I got up this morning singing, God is so good. I got up this morning singing, God is so good. My God is so good to me. I'm feeling good down in my soul, yeah.
God is so good.
Hey, I'm feeling good down in my soul. Yeah, God is so good. I'm feeling good down in my soul. Yeah, God is so good. My God is so good to me. And every day and every way,
God is so good.
hey, every day and every way, God is so good. Every day and every way,
God is so good.
oh, my God is so good to me. And in my times of trial, I know
God is so good.
oh, and in my time of trial, I know God is so good. In my time of trial, I know God is so good. My God is so good to me. And when my day is over, I know
God is so good.
when my day is over, I know God is so good. When my day is over, I know God is so good. My God is so good to me. Put your hands together. Every day and every way,
God is so good.
every day and every way, God is so good. Every day and every way, God is so good. My God is so, my God is so, my God is so good to me. My God is so good to me. Woo! Thank you so much. Please be seated. Everybody, welcome Steph to the stage. I'm going to give you a quick announcement.
I have something fun coming up that I got to tell y'all about before I go back there and do my thing. I've partnered with my girlfriend Carrie, who is an amazing artist, and we are doing a little big experience on Saturday from 11 to 12:15. I got to even check the announcements here. 11 to 12:15, and we are doing something kind of different. It's a multi-generational thing where if you are 5 to, I'd say, 115, you are going to love this class. You're going to love this thing.
Rules me out.
Right. If you can talk, you're going to like this. We are pulling down the cardio drums again. And we are doing the cardio drumming before I vault that routine. We're doing that piece of that. And if you were in the happy class and did that, let me just say there's fun in the familiar. So to do it again makes it even better. And then we're going to celebrate everything we love about life, the people, the places, the things, and then go and paint hearts to remember the day by. So this is awesome for parents to do with their kids, teens to do with their mom and dad, friends to do with friends. We'll have separate areas set up for the kids and the olders and all of that, and it's just going to be fabulous. So it's a $35 value, but you pay what you can, you pay what you want. And if there's anyone that can't be there and wants to sponsor someone, we welcome that too, in addition to your regular giving. So I just wanted to let y'all know we're excited. There's a sign-up back there. The sign-ups are important for my movement and mindfulness things I do because we have to flip this room into a movement studio. And there's only so much room for everybody to have a drum and to have a place to move and groove. So the sign-ups back there, I would love for y'all to consider coming. It's going to be a blast. We're going to have a ball with the
balls. Thank you so much, Ms. Steph. Okay, we're gonna dismiss the youth, and before we dismiss the youth, we want to give the youth a blessing before they leave. So let's everybody say the blessing for the youth. Youth of Unity of Music City, we see you, we love you, and we bless you. You're a shining star for all to see what your life can truly be. And so it is.
Good morning, Unity of Music City. Let's begin this portion of our service by taking a deep centering breath. Today's centering statement is, my spiritual walk fascinates and fulfills me. Walking the spiritual path refers to the journey of personal growth, self-discovery, and connection to something greater than myself. It's a way of living that is guided by my spiritual beliefs, values, and practices, and it can take many forms. Over the years, I've grown so much from my spiritual practices. I have felt close to the divine as I have studied, prayed, and meditated. I have felt deepened in understanding, and I have learned and grown in confidence as I have discovered my own divinity. I continue to be fascinated and fulfilled as I walk this path to spiritual discovery, and I continue to see the divine in situations where I least expect it. I realize there will always be more to learn, more ways to grow, and more ways to know God and know myself. And the more I know, the more I desire to know. My interest in and love for the divine is without limit. My fascination with this spiritual walk will continue to lead me along my path of discovery and devotion for as long as I live. And I am grateful for the support of my spiritual community as I deepen in my relationship with the universal presence, which is alive in me. And now if you'll please repeat these affirming statements after me. My spiritual walk fascinates and fulfills me. My spiritual walk fascinates and fulfills me. I am on a journey of personal growth, self-discovery, and connection to something greater than myself. I am on a journey of personal growth, self-discovery, and connection to something greater than myself. I am deepening in my relationship with the universal presence which is alive in me. I am deepening my relationship with the universal presence which is alive in me. And so it is.
Well, good morning, everyone. We're so glad to see all your smiling faces here. Such a lovely day outside. You could be doing 1,000 things right now instead of being here, but we're so glad that you brought your energy to play with ours. So glad that you are here. We're talking about deepening our spiritual walk, and that's why we're all here, because we have that passion, we have that desire to continue our spiritual walk and make it a focal point of our daily lives. So we all have a ton of things in common, but that is, I think, the central ingredient to all of us being here together. That oneness that we celebrate is rooted in our spiritual walk, and we celebrate that here every day, every Sunday especially. So thank you all for being a part of that. We really appreciate it. I'm glad you didn't go far, Julie. Do we have some announcements? And I think we can skip the Stephanie one, yeah. What is, oh, okay. Gosh, it is time for that, isn't it?
So I'm glad you said the word rooted. It is getting to be that time. How many gardeners, I know we have them out there, how many gardeners out there? Awesome.
I'm more of a potted plant person.
I think I'm going to use 3 words. When it comes to gardening, it's okay. Or that's 2 words. Well, it's 3, I guess. Anyway, it is okay. So whether it's a potted plant inside or an outdoors, who loves the outdoors and being outside? Okay, so we're just on this season right here, and I'm going to explain these pictures really quick because I was happy and fortunate enough to get a garden center job again this past week. So this is the former garden job, but it's just that time that I thought, I've got to talk about this really super quickly. The one up there, hands in the dirt. You know, this is the time everybody's thinking it's cold outside, planning ahead, getting ready for the season. This is probably my favorite time of the year. And I love all times of the year now. I embrace every season of it, and I know it has its purpose, but this is my favorite for the new growth. And the picture that's black and white is my grandmother. She had a plant farm, and it's my Meemaw. And my dad also, he majored in agriculture. He built 4 greenhouses for her back in the day in the 70s, and that's in Wilson County. And if you look up Lanham Plant Farm, you might dig up some information of that. And my younger years was spent with her and in the summer, and just learned all kinds, tricks of the trade, and not so much tricks, but just her way of doing things. So it was very all natural. So the new job that I have, they're very organic as well. But I've got to learn a lot about like what you can do to add in other people's ways. And again, that's okay. It's all different to get to that point. So, and it involves so much to get from A to B, right? So the bottom left picture, that was in January of 2 years ago. And I'm pressure washing, it's cold, and it's like you got to get ready for these times, right? So I know Reverend Deb has used the layering, and I'm not sure of the terminology, but the layering, when you get to that core, right? You get to the core finally when you have peeled those layers and you look in. But I think of a different kind of layer, because if gardening and planting is not a metaphorical situation, I know so many lessons have been, based on gardening. And it starts when we germinate, just this little tiny, it still amazes me. And that's why I just always want to bring that up, because it still amazes me. We start right here with the seed, right? And then we have to grow. If you don't transfer it soon, it's not going to grow. And you got to give yourself that bigger space. And then finally, again, this is a little broken pot there because I've been through a few. But it just amazed me to get from that point A to this point, and then you have to eventually maybe put it in the ground if it's meant to happen, and let it flourish there. So the whole experience, there's so much to it behind, besides just planting a seed sometimes. Whatever level you are, again, those words, it is okay. If you're at that level where you just want to go in and buy one that's kind of started, or if you want to start it yourself and you want to propagate something, it's all okay. So I'm celebrating this season because it's just a beautiful time of the year. So, and regrowth is something that is, the whole Ananias Nin, right? From the darkness and rising into the light. And that's what we do. So I just had to bring that up just because it's the time of year. No gimmicks, no script, just this. 100%.
Just a lot of pots.
And I brought these too because we have to protect ourselves, right? So you have to, once you get that seed in the ground, you fill that dirt, and then you protect yourself and you protect the plant, and you nurture that baby. You nurture it until, and from day one to less. Yeah, for sure. So, again, thank you for the amazing music. I had a great voice going, and I just sang it out again. So I'm ready to get it rested and sing again at the end of the message. So it's awesome music always, you guys. All right, announcements for today. Book club series, Build the Life You Want. Last Zoom meeting tomorrow. That's February 19th at 6:30 p.m. The class is facilitated by Deborah Champion. I don't think Deborah is here today, but I hear that's going very well. And Steph talked about the class that she is doing on Saturday. The Full Moon Gathering. That's February 24th at 7 p.m. Join us here at Wren Road for the Snow Moon. Wow, that's cool. Evening of Healing, Friday, March 1st. Begin that month right, and from 6 to 9 p.m. And see Frank for more information on that. Thank you, Frank, for doing that. Pause and Practice, a weekly Zoom gathering with Reverend Deb on Mondays beginning March 4th from 6:30 to 7:30 p.m. 40 minutes of sharing conversation followed by 20 minutes of various spiritual practices. Class will proceed indefinitely as deemed prudent and will be canceled for any conflicting events. So that's going to be amazing. Happy Class. Join Steph for mood-boosting movement and mindfulness at the next Happy Class on Thursday, March 7th from 6:30 to 7:30 p.m. This class will be dance, fit, and gentle yoga flow followed with Reiki relaxation, aromatherapy, and essential oil treatments. Cost is $20. Second Saturday Arts. Second Saturday Arts. There we go. Ooh, look at that screen. March 9th, very colorful. March 9th at 9 a.m. The first workshop will be embossed watercolor bookmarks, $20 per person. This class is open to all ages, but kids should be at least school age and have a parent present to assist them. Registration must be received before March the 2nd to ensure there are supplies available for everyone. Please see Crystal after service for more information. And there she is in her cool tie-dye hoodie today. Exactly. I could just point. She's
That's why we call you
there.
the Rainbow Mama.
That's it. So scholarship is available. She has written on here as well. All right. So if we have no additional announcements, all of these activity or meeting links and contact numbers can be found on our website, weekly happenings, email, or Google Calendar. Please call or email the church to be added to the mailing list or for more details on any of our events. Talk. See, I'm ready to sing again. Ready to sing again.
All right, we can do that.
Have a wonderful week, everyone.
Thank you, Julie. All right, well, it's time for the monthly mantra. It's time to sing again, and this is the song that we've been taking into our week. This is the month of love. February is a month of love, so we have been showering the people that we love with love. And so without further ado, let's all stand up and sing it together. You can play the game and you can act out the part, though you know it wasn't written for you. Tell me, how can you stand there with your broken heart, ashamed of playing the fool? One thing can lead to another, doesn't take any sacrifice. Oh, father and mother, sister and brother, if it feels nice, don't think twice. Just shower the people you love with love. Show them the way that you feel. Things are gonna work out fine if you only will. What I'd like for you to do is shower the people you love with love. Show them the way that you feel. Things are gonna be much better if you only will. You can run, but you cannot hide. This is widely known. And what you plan to do with your foolish pride when you're all by yourself alone? Once you tell somebody the way that you feel, you can feel it beginning to ease. I think it's true what they say about the squeaky wheel always getting the grease. It's better to shower the people you love with love. Show them the way that you feel. Things are gonna work out fine if you only will. What you really ought to do is shower the people you love with love. Show them the way that you feel. Things are gonna be much better if you only will. love rain.
The way that you feel.
Make it rain. Love, love, love. The sun
The
shower.
way that you feel.
Make it
Shower the
rain.
people you
Love, love,
with
love. The sunshine.
The way that you feel.
And things are gonna meet much better if you only will. Thank you. Please be seated.
Good morning.
Let me breathe.
Shower the people you love with love. Shower the people you don't love with love. Shower the whole world with love. Shower the Israelis and the Palestinians with love. Shower the Tennessee General Assembly with love. Mm-hmm. Shower your puppy dogs and your kitty cats with love. I had to follow up the Tennessee General Assembly with something easy. When we chant Om, we tap into the original love source of the universe. In the Upanishads, Krishna is often referred to as the Lord of Love. That originating source of life is the Lord of Love. So I invite you to close your eyes if that feels comfortable. Relax yourself. Ask yourself if you can be just 5% more relaxed. Focus your energy on the central source energy of your being. That is pure love. And as we chant Om together 7 times, whoever spirit brings to your mind, shower them with love. Take a good breath in through the nostrils. Release it. Join as you are willing. Om. hold that energy in stillness for a moment while Ryan plays. Lord of love, thank you for the remembering that we are born of you. Thank you for the opportunity to shower the world with love. And bring that remembering into our hearts in every moment of the day. And so it is.
I am in God. God is in me. My life is God expressing. I am in God. God is in me. All that I am flows to and from God. I am in God. God is in me. My life is God expressing. I am in God. God is in me. All that I am flows to and from God. All that I am flows to and from God.
I've already had me some church. I don't know about y'all, but I've had me some church, said the English professor. We're going to talk about iguanas today. Not really. We're going to talk about Gunas. So you might say to yourself, I don't know what that is, and that's fine. We're going to learn together what that is, but they are best perhaps defined as the energy trinity of the Bhagavad Gita, and we're going to learn what that means. But first, we're going to do a little bit of a review. So last week we learned that the Bhagavad Gita takes place in the middle of a battlefield, and Arjuna is an archer, and Krishna is his charioteer. Krishna, the 8th avatar of Vishnu, God incarnate, right? And Arjuna is very, very confused in his mind. He doesn't know what he should do because he has kin, as we say here in the South. He's got kin on both sides. He's related to the Hatfields and he's related to the McCoys, right? And he doesn't know what he should do. And he even says, I'd just as soon just put my bow and arrow down, just stand here and let them run me straight through as to raise my bow and arrow against any of my brethren. I don't know what to do. Tell me where my duty lies. Which path should I take? And we mentioned how we all live in the battlefield sometimes. Let me give you an idea of this for me for this past week. I don't know if you paid any attention, but yesterday, neo-Nazis marched through downtown Nashville. They had flags with swastikas on them, not the good kind of swastikas you see in India, but the swastikas that are very definitely affiliated with Hitler's Germany. Boldly marched through downtown Nashville. I think the group looked like there were 40 or 50 of them. You can go look at the news. It was there. And I got to tell you, for those of us in the modern world, there is probably no clearer sense of when we might take up arms and go to battle as the string of understanding that runs through what that means in the 20th and 21st century, right? This idea of Nazi racism, bigotry, closed-mindedness. What do we do when we're faced with that? Sit on a hill and be a spiritual person. I'm sure that the people who are targeted will say, thank you so much for all your help, right? Also this week, the Tennessee General Assembly was presented with 2 resolutions to honor 2 people who live in Nashville, 2 artists who live in Nashville who had won Grammys. One was the group Paramore, a group that is white, and one was the singer Allison Russell, who is black. The Tennessee General Assembly, now this is a no-brainer. This is, hey, let's do this resolution that means nothing, it changes no laws, it just says we honor this Tennessean for winning a Grammy. They passed the resolution for Paramore. They did not pass the resolution for Allison Russell. This week, let me tell you what's been happening at Tennessee's community colleges. This week, we got the word from the Tennessee Board of Regents, who is our governing body, that it is every dean, every department chair's, every faculty member's job to go through the website of their college, the entire catalog of their college, every single course description, and remove the word diversity. We stand in a battlefield, my friends. I got a call, or I got an email, a meeting request this past week from one of my colleagues that said it's time for us to assemble, faculty. We're going to have a Zoom meeting Wednesday at 6 o'clock to decide what we do. We have, at this point, still academic freedom. One of the things I've been doing all week long is nobody tells me what I can say in my class, so guess what word has been in every single class that I teach this week? I am teaching Ida B. Wells like she's the only American writer worth teaching. If you don't know who she is, she was a writer 100 years ago calling out police brutality against African Americans. We live in a battlefield, my friends, whether we like it or not. When I got the meeting request about the faculty meeting, my first thought was, what is my duty? Tell me where my duty lies. Let this cup pass from me. I don't want to fight this battle. I don't want to have to fight this battle. But the battle is in front of me nonetheless. Nonetheless, it's in front of me. Who will I stand up and be? You know what Krishna says? You are in the battle. Even if you don't want to fight, your physical beingness is going to respond when they're coming at you. You're going to enjoin the battle whether you want to or not. I didn't want to make the review the whole part of this talk, but nonetheless, I couldn't pass those things by when I'm talking about this battle that Arjuna is facing. What do we learn? Last week, the 3 lessons we learned from chapter 2. We learned that the eternal cannot be temporal, the temporal cannot be eternal. As one of the Upanishads said, and Mahatma Gandhi taught, truth is always victorious. So I hold to that because the truth is part of the eternal. The lie is temporal. Now, in the meantime, we still got to protect those people who might be victims of that lie, right? But we know and we hold to, as Dr. King says, the moral arc of the universe is, it takes a long time to bend, but it bends toward justice. It bends toward justice. The second thing we learned is that true spiritual guidance comes from within. That ultimately, at the end of the day, when it comes to my understanding of what fight I show up for, how I show up in the midst of the battlefield, the Bhagavad Gita is not going to tell me, the book of Matthew is not going to tell me, the Quran is not going to tell me that I have to go into the silence, I have to go into my higher self, and I have to feel into that, and I have to ask, what is mine to do? Clearly show me. Clearly show me what is mine to do. The third thing we learned is that the way to peace is the release of all attachments. I can be on the battlefield of life in peace. I can stand up and do my version of fighting. I can speak, I can write my representative, I can show up for a march, I can do whatever, and I can be in peace in that moment. I can be in passion and be in peace. Because I show up and do my work and I let go of the attachment to the result. I let go of any expectation or understanding of what may come about, knowing that truth is always victorious. So, that's just the review. Let's get into the gunas. So let me explain a couple of words for you. In Hinduism, in Sanskrit, Maya is a word that means illusion or dream, right? It's one of those, most of those Sanskrit words are kind of hard to put into English completely. But it really refers to the magic that the gods perform on us to make us believe that all of this is real. Right? That's what Maya is. Maya is the magic, the spell that we live under to believe that all of this is real. There's a great story from the Upanishads about a Hindu prince, an Indian prince, young, he was just a child. He got kidnapped by some bandits, and they took him off into the forest, and they raised him as their own, and they taught him how to rob and be a bandit and be a horrible, horrible person. And one day he grew up. One day, his old spiritual teacher who worked for his father and who had taught him when he was a child was walking through the forest, and he sees him. And so here's this bandit, but he recognizes he has his father's nose. He looks just like him. And so the teacher walks up to him and says, "Good morning, Your Royal Highness." And the young man says, "Royal Highness? What's that? I'm a bandit. Can't you see what I am? I'm a bandit. I'm mean." "No, you're my Royal Highness," right? Royal Highness. He says, "No, I'm an ogre. I'm someone you should be afraid of." And then he says, "No, remember when you were a child and I taught you and you heard these truths?" And he starts to tell him about the times they had together, and the young man starts to remember, and then he says, "So you are Your Royal Highness. You are divine. You are holy." And when the young man starts to hear that, starts to realize that's who he is, he can't get enough. "Tell me more. Tell me more. Tell me more of who I am. Because I am not the Maya. I am not the illusion that I have been given. Right? That is a story for all of us. Guna means strand or thread. And the three gunas are sattva, rajas, and tamas. And let me tell you a little bit about them, but we're going to dive into them in great detail. Sattva is illumination or truth. Sattva is the quality of harmony, goodness, serene beingness. It's a balancing force. Sattva is the seeker self that we get to, right? The source, the one that's right in there, the evolved person. Rajas is passion or desire. It is the quality of activity, passion, the dynamic ego, and it is a forward-moving force. It's moving forward in action. Tamas is the quality of disorder, chaos, and diluted apathy. It is darkness and dullness, and it is an opposing force. Right? These, by the way, are in the Bhagavad Gita. If you're following along, I'm jumping up a little bit to chapter 14. But these gunas are mentioned throughout, so I wanted to go ahead and give them to you as foundational information. Chapter 14, 17, and 18 really cover this. There's one other term that I want to share with you before we dive in, and that is the term prakriti. 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 It's a little hard to say. There's a lot of R's in there, and know that that first I isn't even in the original spelling. It's in K-R-T-I, prakriti. And prakriti is the word for our material nature. It's the prime material energy from which all matter is composed. But it's not just matter. It's also it's not just our physical body. It's also our cognitive, our moral, our psychological, our emotional, our sensory, all the physical aspects of ourselves as well. So our person, right? The person we are. Our small s self. And that the prakriti is really just a cord woven from the three strands of sattva, rajas, and tamas. Right? And so it's like a braid. And that braid of these three energies runs through us. And here's what they do. We know that we're this divine self inside. Deep inside, we are the divine spark. We got all these layers outside of us. Something binds that to this. Something keeps them connected. And the the gunas are what binds our soul to thought and matter. All right? It's what connects the soul to thought and matter. So there's three things I want you to keep in mind before we dive in. Number one, we all have all three of them, whether you like it or not. As you look through this, you're going to think, oh, this is like a Hindu Enneagram. This is like a personality test. It's going to tell me who I am, right? And we're all going to want to say, oh, I'm so sattva. I am so sattva. But keep in mind that we have all three of them. And what they can help us do is identify when our actions, our behavior, our thoughts, our words, how it's showing up and what energy is primary through that. Second thing, they arise from our material nature and bind the self to our material world. So they're part of our humanness. They are what makes us human and what keeps us bound to that higher, that capital S self. And thirdly, the goal of spiritual awakening is to break free from all of them and achieve true liberation. Even, yes, sattva. Even the seeker self. Even the highest evolved part of our ego. The ultimate goal of spiritual awakening is to break away from all of those things, right? To introduce the gunas, Krishna says this. Now remember, Krishna is speaking as the divine. He is the God. And he says, nature for me is a womb. In nature, I plant my seed. And from this seed of mine burst forth the origin of all beings. Whatever life forms develop in any womb, nature is their primal womb, and I am their seed-giving father. So in the same way that you have DNA from both of your earthly parents, right? I have my father's hands. I have my mother's eyes, right? In the same way, the earth is our mother, and we have that physical self, and the divine is our father. And we have that divinity within us. He goes on to tell us that the gunas are born from nature. They are the part of the DNA that we get from our physical self. So let's look at these. The next 6 slides are going to have so much information on them, but know that I originally had them on 3 slides, so you're welcome. I'm going to tell you the characteristics of each of these. We're going to start with sattva. I know you might think, why do you start with the best one? You should start with the worst one and build up. I'm talking about them in the way that they're written in the Bhagavad Gita. All of these, just like a good braid, by the way, are intertwined. I've broken them out, and we're going to talk about sattva first. So I'm going to go through these kind of as quickly as I can, but you know, there's a lot of information. Every single one of these slides has 5 points on it for those of you who like to take pictures. Yeah, all right?
If you can't get a picture, since it is so much,
that's right.
let me know. Write down your email.
That's right. She'll send you the slides. So the very first thing, how does it bind? We know that each one of these gunas binds the soul to the human, right? Binds the divine to the spirit, to the earthly. So sattva binds by means of attachment to knowledge and joy, right? And I want to live there. It's not a bad place to live. But in that higher seeker self, we're still bound to this physical beingness by our attachment. Look at how much I've evolved. Remember, our holy self doesn't need to evolve. It doesn't grow. It started whole. Started whole, ends whole. Right? Doesn't start and end. Let me just go back there. Never starts, never ends. So how does the sattvic self bind the divine? Well, it binds through attachment to knowledge and joy. It's untainted. It's free from sorrow. Not a bad way to live. Its quality is that the light of knowledge shines through all the gates of the body. Right? Light of knowledge shines through all the gates of the body. When it comes to worship, it's worship for the sake of worship without thought of reward. I want to take just a moment with that one because worship is a word that we often don't talk a lot about in New Thought or in Unity or things of that nature. But I think we should get back to it because sometimes I can think of worship as anytime I'm focused on my spiritual journey, right? But really, the word worship is about devotion to the divine. It's about gratitude and joy and, right? And so we find, whether it's in Christianity singing, "How Great Thou Art," right? Or in Hinduism singing the Mula Mantra, or whatever it is, whether it's going to the temple and waiting for the curtain to open and there's the God and we get all happy and we, praise the God. And so I think there's some room for that even in our very new understanding of our own spiritual nature, to step back and go, but let me at least, if you don't have some kind of divine something on your altar at home that you can at least let stand in for the divine for you, I encourage you to consider having one. So worship for the sake of worship without thought of reward. I just need to say thank you. I just need to let you know, God, how grateful I am. The way that sattva demonstrates control is with serenity, gentleness, and silence practiced with faith and diligence. It's compassion, it's self-restraint, it's control of the mind. And the way that charity is given from sattva is that it is given without any expectations. Reminds me of my favorite movie, The Magnificent Obsession, right? Where the magnificent obsession is giving, and it's giving in secret with no looking for any return. So not only do you get the money back, you don't get the prestige or right? You don't get to have that little ego stroke of look what I gave. That kind of nothing. You give to give, period. And that's what a sattvic being would do. All right, everybody got that? It's 5. Moving on. Spiritual knowledge for sattva is oneness. Sees in all things a single imperishable. Right? It sees the undivided nature among that which appears in Maya to be divided. You might say, how do you go any further than that? I mean, what could transcend that? If my goal for liberation is to let go of all of these, how could I transcend that? Well, let me offer this. Instead of seeing in all things a single perishable, seeing only one thing. Right? Someone came to Ramana Maharshi, the great Hindu leader of the early 20th century, and said, "Tell me, Master, how should I treat others?" And he said, "There are no others." Right? There are no others. In action, for sattva, we act without craving or aversion. We're unattached to the results. We're doing the duty in front of us, fulfilling our sacred obligations, doing what is called upon us to do, stepping into the battle. Without any attachment to the results, it will be what it's going to be. In our understanding for sattva, you have an understanding of what to do and what not to do, when to do it and when not to do it, what is appropriate in my actions. Right? Has a sense of safety and danger, automatically seems to sense what is a moment of bondage and a moment of liberation. In other words, they have a finely honed intuition. They're tapping into that as regularly as possible. The will of sattva is guided by the practice of meditation. It is showing control of the functions of the mind, breath, and senses through meditation. In other words, I have subsumed my will to the divine flow of the universe. And finally, I love this. This is the happiness of sattva. This is exactly the way the Bhagavad Gita says it. Happiness is at first like poison and at last like nectar. It requires the discipline and dedication of being true to a spiritual path, but it arises from the serene mind that discipline and dedication has led us to, and it feels then like the nectar. The Bhagavad Gita says that a person who is free from attachment and the I sense, courageous, steadfast, unmoved by success or failure, this kind of agent is sattvic. Oh, that's us. I know we could never find ourselves in these others, but let's look at them anyway, because we might recognize our neighbor, right? Rajas binds by means of activity and attachment. It is marked by passion and craving. None of us have ever felt that. I'm going to not look at anybody when I put this next one up. The qualities are greed, excessive projects, cravings, and restlessness. I'm not looking at anybody when I say excessive projects, all right? I'm looking at myself. So anything, excessive doing of any kind, constant activity. The worship for Rajas is worship offered from a desire for the good that will result. Even if it's not selfish. It's good for the community, it's good for the whole, it's good for the world. But still I have an attachment to the outcome. And so I'm going to worship God because I want something good to happen. Or maybe it could even be that if I make sure I show up at First Baptist Church on Sunday morning, all those people I know will feel like they have to use me as their insurance agent, right? It's worship for a result. It's worship for a result. Control for the Rajas is performed out of pride or to gain respect or admiration, right? I'm the boss. I'm in charge. Y'all are going to know this. And I'm very attached to the fact that I'm the boss. And you are going to respect me, right? You are going to respect. It's wavering, it's unstable, it's ego motivated. Charity is given half-heartedly and looking for a return. Maybe even wants to secure some favor or to gain spiritual merit. Well, gosh, I'm in a new tax bracket. I'd better give some charitable giving so that I can get that tax write-off. Is not charity. They're still going to take your check. But for you, it's not giving you the energy that you get from charity, right? It's wanting to secure some favor. All right, everybody got that? I'm sorry, I'll wait for you there. Okay, all right, All right. Rajas, number 2. The knowledge of Rajas perceives a multiplicity of beings, each existing for self. In other words, it relies on the evidence of Maya, the illusion. We've all been there. Haven't you been there in moments when you're like, oneness crap, look at how different all these people are. I don't like the way they act, right? I'm not one with those Nazis walking through downtown Nashville. You've got to be crazy. I'm not one with the Tennessee General Assembly. We've all been there. We've all had that moment. It sees separateness. All I need to do in that moment when I see separateness is to recognize, you know what? I've got some real Raja going on here. That's what's happening. And I just need to acknowledge it. Action is performed to satisfy desires. This action is centered on the idea that I am doing this. This action is done to get attention, right? Action is done because it's going to bring me something I want. I am going to work my tail off in school so I can get that good job, so I can get that money. It's Rajas. But I want to make sure I'm going to get some attention for it too. Anytime we love, and we all love it, anytime we love being acknowledged for something that we did, that's fine. It's good. We have the Rajas thread. Okay, thank you. And know that I'm going to, have to recognize that that's part of my ego. The understanding here lacks a sense of right or wrong or when to act. It's unclear about what should or shouldn't be done. It's stuck in confusion and indecisiveness. This is Arjuna on the battlefield right here. This is Deb when she's faced with what the Tennessee General Assembly is doing. What should I do? I don't know. If I knew the right thing, I'd do it. How many times have you said that? If I just knew the right thing, I'd do it. But I'm just unsure. That might end up creating a mess. It might be chaos, right? If I just knew it's unclear about what should or shouldn't be done. And then the will is attached to duty, pleasure, power, wealth, and results. And let me tell you what word is actually used in describing this in the translation. This is the birthplace of anxiety. Because I've centered my will around my duty, trying to accomplish, bring pleasure, trying to gain power, trying to get wealth, trying to get results. And I have a constant desire for a particular outcome, and so I live in an anxious ball. The happiness here is at first like nectar and at last like poison. Because the happiness comes from the contact between the senses and our sense objects. And as long as the sense objects are bringing me happy senses, happy emotions, pleasure, joy, wealth, achievement, then I can be happy. And at first, that feels really, really good. I won the lottery. Yay! I'm going on vacation. Yay! Right? And then at some point you realize my life hasn't changed. I'm still the same person. Nothing has changed. And all those things I thought would bring me joy didn't actually bring me joy. The Gita says a rajasic agent is impulsive, seeks to obtain results, is greedy, impure, and buffeted by joy and sorrow. I have been buffeted by joy and sorrow in my life. Don't know about you. Finally, tamas. It binds by means of dullness, indolence, and sleep. It's born of ignorance. It deludes all embodied beings. Have you ever had a moment in your life where, God, I just want to sleep? I have. I can't face what's going on out there. I just want to bury my head under the covers. Right? Its qualities are dullness, stagnation, confusion, inertia, darkness, complete unknown, lethargy, inactivity. I've been there. I have been there. The worship of the tamas thread is faithless. I had to include this. It's right from the Gita. No food offered, no payment to the priest. Right? And the way that I have to look at that is, what this is meaning is, worship does not show being committed or being engaged in a spiritual practice. The food that's in Hinduism, you always bring food to the god. You set food down in front of the god, right? It's part of the offering that you give. And it's a way of saying, I am willing to nurture my spiritual journey. I am willing to be a part of, to take ownership of. And when you don't take any of that ownership, that is what kind of worship we have here. The control is used to gain the power to harm others. I don't know about you. I remember a time, that's been a long, long time ago, but I remember a time when somebody did me wrong. And I remember thinking, one of these days, when I get in that position, when I get that job, when I get, I'm gonna get them back, right? Control is used to gain the power to harm others. That was never going to serve me. Thank goodness, at some point I moved beyond it, because it was never going to serve me. It wasn't going to hurt them at all. Charity is given at the wrong time, to the wrong place, and it's given grudgingly. Now again, people are going to cash your check, but it's given without respect for the receiver or the true nature of charity, or, right? It's given maybe because I like those people, but I don't like those people. But what if those people are hurting? Right? What if those people are hurting? The knowledge is based on clinging to one thing as if it were the whole. Has no concern for the true cause or the essence of things. So this is when we get into the knowledge where this is what I believe. I don't want to hear anything else. Right? I'm not going to open my mind to anything else. And we like to think in unity, we like to think in new thought that we have moved beyond that, but sometimes we haven't. Sometimes we haven't. Sometimes we've closed ourselves off to what a great Christian teacher can teach us. What a great Jewish teacher, what a great imam can teach us, because, oh, no, I'm unity. So it clings to one thing as if it were the whole. The action begins in delusion with no thought for harm it may cause to self or others. Have you ever had that moment? I have. That moment where I look back and go, what was I thinking? Where was my head? Did I really think this was going to turn out okay? What was I thinking? I've had that so many times. Sees the understanding, sees wrong as right. The Gita says, thickly covered in darkness, it sees the world upside down. We have so much of that going on in the world right now. Do you ever look at certain people out in the world or read the news and go, how can anyone think that? How can that be? Either they or I am seeing wrong as right. But somebody is. We're living in a lot of this energy today. The will clings to grief, fear, depression, and conceit. It lacks motivation, and the happiness is self-deluding and found in sleep and dullness. Just let me go to sleep. An agent is called tamasic. This is the Gita. An agent is called tamasic when he is undisciplined and stupid, not my word, Gita's word, stubborn, mean, deceitful, lazy, and easily depressed. So the Bhagavad Gita says this. When one sees clearly that there is no doer besides the Gunas and know what exists beyond them, they can enter my state of being. The doer, all these people you've probably read books by, Eckhart Tolle and whoever else, Wayne Dyer, who talk about being the observer, right? Recognizing the doer. And what if we began to recognize the doer is these three strands of energy that run through us, and at any given moment, one of them can be really, really forward, front and center. This is all the action that is taking place in our life, is taking place by these three gunas, and we're simply observing them. This idea is new thought, and it is as old as human thought, right? This idea of the doer. So the last thing I want to do here before we call it a day, I want to read to you this one little section from the Bhagavad Gita. Arjuna says to Krishna, "How can I recognize the man who has gone beyond the three gunas? What has he done to go beyond them? How does he act?" Isn't that the question we all have? Like, just show me an enlightened person, I can mimic them. I can do what they do, right? I can show up like they show up. The Blessed Lord said, "Whatever quality arises, light, activity, delusion." Notice those are sattva, rajas, and tamas, right? Light, activity, delusion. He neither dislikes its presence nor desires it when it is not there. He who is unattached, who is not disturbed by the gunas, who is firmly rooted and knows that only the gunas are acting. Well, look at me. Look at me being so tamasic right there. Who is equally self-contained in pain or pleasure. That's a tough one. In happiness or sorrow. Who is content with whatever happens. Who sees dirt, rocks, and gold as equal. That's not a stretch for this crystal-loving community right there, right? Who sees dirt, rocks, and gold as equal, who is unperturbed amid praise or blame of himself, indifferent to honor and to disgrace, serene in success and failure, impartial to friend and foe, unattached to action. That man has gone beyond the three gunas. He who faithfully serves me with the yoga of devotion, going beyond the three gunas, is ready to attain the ultimate freedom. For I am the foundation of that birthless, imperishable freedom, the basis of eternal duty and of limitless, perfect joy. And next week we'll start looking at the yogas that will take us there. Namaste.
So interesting how all of this kind of comes together, because I've been having internal conversations all week long about joy, due to the fact that my life has been so stressful. It's as if November and December we're just tiptoeing through the tulips. And then the second that the new year hit, it was like everybody needs everything yesterday. I attended 8 work meetings last week. And in each meeting, I got more and more assignments. I got more and more stuff to do. And I'm sitting in these meetings thinking, when am I going to do all this? Because I'm always attending meetings, right? And then, so yesterday, Frank had to go out and run errands, and I took a long, hot shower. And I tried to envision the water not only cleaning my body, but also washing my insides, washing everything and cleaning everything up and making everything good. And then when I got out and got ready, I sat down in my chair and just tried to sit in the quiet for a few minutes, and it hit me, what you are missing here is joy. Joy to level out all of this stress, joy to level out all of the chaos that's been going on around you. You need to have fun. You need some joy. So my duty for myself over the coming weeks is to have fun, enjoy life. And I would encourage everybody here to make that your priority also. Get all your crap done, but also make time for joy in your life. I promise you, you will be grateful for that. So I'm grateful for that recognition, and I promise you, I wasn't sitting in that chair in 5 minutes. Just getting quiet, listening to the silence, and then it just popped in. I know what you need. You need to have fun. You need to laugh. So I encourage you to bring joy into your life this week. What other things happened this week that you're grateful for? Anybody?
Survived that car accident without a bruise.
Oh, yes. No issues because of crazy drivers or potholes or whatever it may be that adds stress into your life.
I'm grateful for tax accountants.
Grateful for tax accountants. Amen. It is that time of year. Grateful for health, absolutely. Oh, Julie doesn't have to pay this year. So tax professionals and no taxes. Anybody, anything else? What are we grateful for from this week? All right. Well, let's take just a second to look at our... Oh, wow, we are doing so well, people. This is great. Take this knowledge into your planning. Keep us supported by your time, your talents, your treasures. Everybody has so many talents that they bring to the table. Everybody has so many treasures that you can bring to the table. And let's all make sure that we're doing that for our spiritual community to keep the lights on and keep this going. Because if you look at our principles, I know that this is a great way to live my life. And I want everybody to know that too. It's a great way to live your life. Let's take a look at the different ways to give. You need to take a shot of the QR code. It's also back there by the blue vase where you drop your physical donations in. And if we are ready, let's say our offertory affirmation together. Divine love flowing through me blesses and multiplies all that I choose to give and all that I am open to receive. And we are grateful. I am grateful for another day of living. I'm grateful for a new chance to forgive. I'm grateful to receive life's many blessings. And I'm grateful for the love I have to give. Grateful for another day of living. I am grateful for a new chance to forgive. I'm grateful to receive life's many blessings. And I'm grateful for the love I have to give. Yes, I'm grateful for the love I have to give. And I'm grateful for everyone for coming today. All right, well, I want to encourage you to check your What's Happening email that comes on Tuesdays. It will remind you of everything that we've got coming up. It's going to list all of the ways that you can contribute. And let's all stand and say the prayer for protection that's going to take us into next week. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. And the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. And we let it be. Wash over us. We let the love wash over us. We let it be. love wash over us. We let it be. We let the love wash over us. Watch me. We let it be. We let it be. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a great week, and we will see you back